Alright guys, yes I am gone again today, or if you're my first homeroom class, I will be gone, so that's why you're doing this video like everybody else will be. We're on page 196 in our book. We're going to do the first lesson, or the first part of lesson 9, which I think is 4 to 5 pages, which is understanding dividing fractions with models. There's going to be a lot of drawings that I do today that you will need to copy to understand how this works. So with that, let's begin here on page 196. And we're going to do set 1. Set 1, you see a pattern of the whole number 2 divided by different fractions, and we're going to draw that out. You can see now, magically, I have drawn 2 boxes on the screen. And we're going to divide those in half. Each box that we drew originally, we're going to divide in half. Now, what is 2 divided by 1/2? Well, you can see the answer here is 4, but I wanted you to make the connection that there are 4 1/2 pieces in the original 2 that I drew. And again, the second problem we're going to model now, and I drew the boxes again magically. We're going to divide 2 by 1/4. So I'm going to take one of the boxes I drew, divide it into fourths. Sorry about the tapping on the screen. We're going to divide the 2 large boxes that I drew originally into fourths, and then we're going to count and see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can see 2 whole boxes divided into fourths equals 8 1/4 pieces. Our third example we're going to divide 2 whole boxes into 1/8. Well, what you see now, I have taken one of the 2 whole boxes and divided it into 8s. I didn't want to take the time to do that and make the video extremely long. I'm going to pause again and divide the next box into 8s. And what we have modeled now is 2 divided by 1/8 equals 16. And I'm going to write the numbers above the boxes that show us that 2 divided by 1/8 equals 16. And I want you to do this as well. I do strongly urge that you use the grid lines to draw your boxes. I'm going to try to do that from now on in the other 2 examples that we do. Set 2. I want to show 1 whole box. I'm just going to make that 6 parts. No, I'm going to make it 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. 1 box divided in half, or divided by 1/2. 1 box divided by 1/2 equals 2. 2 boxes. I wrote a little bit large. I'm going to erase that. 1 box divided by fourths so 1 divided by 1/4 equals 4. And we'll do this last one. 1 box divided by 8s so 1 divided by 1/8 equals 8. Set 3. Set 3 shows the fraction 1/2 divided by 1/2. Well, if you remember from your whole number lessons, anything divided by itself is 1. So this question actually says, how many 1/2 parts can we divide 1/2 itself into? Well, that would be 1 part. That'll maybe, hopefully, will make a little more sense here with this next example. 1/2 divided by 1/4. I've got a whole box and I've got it divided into halves. I'm going to write 1/2 here at the bottom so I can draw lines. And if I divide this 1/2 part, or I divide the whole, if I divide the whole box into fourths, now I have 4 parts of my entire box. How many of the 1/2 parts, or the 1/4 parts, are in the 1/2? Well, that is 2. So 1/2 divided by 1/4 equals 2. Let's see that again down here at the bottom. Hopefully I'll get it right the first time. I'm going to take the same length box, represents 1/2. Each part is 1/2. And now we're going to divide the whole box into eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are eighths. Let me label them. So our problem is right here that we're working on. 1/2 divided by 1/8. How many of the 1/2 or 1/8 parts are there? Well, it appears to be 4 of them. So 1/2 divided by 1/8 equals 4. Copy all those down, please. Hit pause if you need to. I'm about to change to the next page. So now let's explore these models. Problem number 1 on page 197. In carpentry class, students are making wooden stacking games. Brett cuts a board that is 3 feet long into pieces that are each 1/4 of a foot long to make his game. Complete the model to show 3 divided by 1/4. So we have 3 parts of this board, and we're going to divide entirely each part into fourths. And I have done so. Now, question B, since I have done the modeling. Actually, I'm going to label them. I'm going to hit pause. When I come back, they'll be labeled. Problem B says Brett cuts his board into how many equal pieces? Brett cuts his board into 12 equal pieces. Now, some of you may be saying, yes, I knew that because I could keep, change, flip like you told me. And that is true. Now that we're going to be doing models of dividing whole numbers by fractions or dividing fractions by fractions, you can now check yourself by performing keep, change, flip to get 12 over 1 or 12 pieces. Our whole lesson, though, is centered on drawing the models. So it will help you, hopefully, for those of you who can work the problem in your head ahead of time, to know the answer that you're drawing in the models is correct, or maybe it's wrong. Problem 2. Madison cuts a board that is 3 feet long into pieces that are each 3/4 of a foot long for her stacking game. Complete the model to show 3 divided by 3/4. I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to divide it up. When I come back, I'll explain. All right, guys. As you can see now, I divided the 3 boards or the 3 sections that was on your page, I divided them first into fourths. There should be 4 fourths in each of the boards. Once I got that divided up, then what I did was I took my highlighter and I colored 3 of the 1/4 pieces. Or you could circle them. I guess you could circle, since y'all don't have crayons, or I don't want everybody just jumping up to get coloring pencils. You could circle 3 of the 1/4 pieces to find out that Madison cuts her board into 4 equal pieces. Now let's go up here, go back to problem A. Let's keep, change, flip, and do the work. This would be our rewritten problem. I'm going to cross out my 3's, and I'm left with 4 over 1, which is equal to 4. And again, by understanding the algorithm, or the keep, change, flip process, we find out that we do have the right answer on our model. Next problem. Lynn starts with a board that is 3/2 feet long. She cuts it into pieces that are each 1/4 of a foot long for her stacking game. Complete the model to show how many pieces Lynn cuts her board into. And again, I'm going to pause, do the drawing, then I'll come back with it showing. All right, so the first thing I have done is I have labeled above each of the boards that Lynn has, or the sections, the 1/2s, to show 3/2. Now, our problem says that she cuts it into pieces that are each 1/4 of a foot long for her stacking game. So we're going to come up here and we're going to divide each of the halves into fourths. And if you know your math, you know that 2/4 equals 1/2. So now I have this divided up. And we can see that Lynn cuts her board into 6 equal pieces. I just answered problem C at the bottom. Problem B says write a division equation that represents your model and show how many pieces Lynn cuts her board into. What related multiplication equation does your problem represent? Well, our problem, written as a division problem, would be 3/2 divided by 1/4. And in the second question, it wanted to know what related multiplication equation does your model represent? Well, that is where what we've already learned, keep, change, flip, happens. 12/2 equals the 6 pieces that we found. Hopefully y'all remember what I said about writing down everything that I draw. Number 4. Let's reflect. How many models for dividing with fractions? How are models for dividing with fractions similar to models for dividing with whole numbers, and how are they different? Let's skip that, since we can't have a discussion over a video like this. Let's go down here to the bottom. Circle the equation that shows a divisor of 6. Okay, now the question is, you have a divisor, a dividend, I have no clue how to spell that word, and a quotient when you have a division problem. So which one is which? Let's just take this problem. This says 12 divided by 2 is 6. Well, most of us know that the quotient is the answer. The dividend is in the house, and the number you're dividing by is your divisor. So if we go back and read the problem, circle the equation that shows a divisor of 6. When we have a division problem written as these three are, the divisor is the number in the middle, because that will be the number that you're dividing by. I may give a go at this chart. In my own words, what is the divisor? And these are going to be simple redneck answers. In my own words, the divisor is the number on the outside of a division house. Illustration. I guess an illustration and an example would be the same, right? So let's just write that again. Non-examples. Hopefully you have a red pencil. All right, I believe this is the last page of this video that we're going to do. Problem 3. Lola cuts a string that is 4 feet long into pieces that are each 1/6 foot long. Complete the model to show 4 divided by 1/6. I am going to pause, draw the model, then come back. All right, guys. Again, just to read again. Lola cuts a string that is 4 feet long into pieces that are each 1/6 of a foot long. In your book right now, before anything's divided up, you see this 4 foot long string, and you see where she has cut it into 4 other equal parts. I believe right here are the other cuts. You can see that I have divided each of the pieces into 6. Well, there will be 6th in each one of the pieces, and you can see that labeled here. 6/6 equals 1 piece. 12/6 would equal 2 pieces. The 12 divided by 6 is 2. 3 pieces of string would give me 18/6, and 4 pieces of string would give me 24/6. So Lola cuts her string into 24 equal pieces. Robert cuts a string that is 4 feet long into pieces that are each 2/6 foot long. Complete the model to show 4 divided by 2/6. This model is going to wind up being divided just like the one above it. So I'm going to pause the video, draw all the 1/6 again, and then come back. All right, I have now divided the model up into 1/6 pieces. The string that Robert had that was 4 feet long, I divided them up first into 1/6 pieces, and then above the model, you see where I have grouped the 2/6 pieces together. So our question wants to know how many of the 2/6 foot long pieces are there in the 4 foot long string. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Robert cuts his string into 12 equal pieces. Now, let's make sure I did this correct. let's just say that I'm not so good at doing these models. Come back to the original problem that says 4 divided by 2/6. Then I want you to keep the 4, change the division symbol, and write the reciprocal or flip, as you learned last week, the 2/6. Then cross out what you can cross out, multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, and we find that the answer is 12. So it looks like I very likely did this model correct. Let's go down here to number 5. Hiroko cuts a string that is 4 feet long into pieces that are each 4/6 foot long. Complete the model to show 4 divided by 4/6. And again, I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to divide it up just like I did this one. And when I come back on the video, you will see the same thing, except for at the top, I will have them grouped into 4/6 instead of 2/6 like the above model. All right, I'm coming back a little bit earlier. You can see now that I've got the 4-foot long piece of string. And now I'm going to model cutting them into 4/6 groups. There's one group of 4/6. There's a second group of 4/6. 3, 4. It's another group of 4/6. Another group of 4/6. Another group of 4/6. And the last group of 4/6. So Hiroko cuts her string into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces that are 4/6 of a foot long. Again, I want to check myself to make sure that my 6 that I got is correct. So I'm going to come back to the original problem. 4 divided by 4/6. I'm going to change, flip. Keep the 4 over 1. Change the division to multiplication. And then flip the 4/6 to 6/4. Multiply straight across the top. Straight across the bottom, I get 24/4, which equals 6. And I can see that I did do the model correctly. And that is all that we're going to do today with this lesson. I would like you to go to the colored pencil box, and I want you to come back, and I do want you to color on page 200 as I have this model. Hit pause and hold it here if you need to. Label all the 1/6 and then color the 4 parts. You can color the exact colors I did or whatever you choose, but you need to have 4 parts that are the same color, such as my yellow, red, blue, and green. Problem 4, I want you to color the 2/6 pieces below the brackets. So if you didn't draw the brackets in, I want you to draw those brackets in. Take the same 4 colors you used on the problem above and just rotate them like you're going to watch me do here. Do this very nice and neatly. And just rotate your colors every time. Have the same pattern as you go across your model. This will be for a grade, so I hope you get this all done correctly. Go back in the video if you need to. It's an easy 100 that several of you need. Everything looks a little better with the color on it like this. Then let's go down to our last one, and let's just keep the same thing going. This time, we're coloring in 4/6 pieces. And I'm just going to rotate my colors again. Coloring 4 1/6 pieces at a time. This should make your answer stand out a lot better at the bottom. When I get done, I should have, looks like 6 different colored pieces across through here. Now I want to just scroll back and look. Yeah, I see my 6 different colored pieces. And now everything looks a little better with some color to it. And this video is now complete.